Guys.
Hey, Martin Meister, how you doing?
I'm alright, and yourself?
Good. You are a musician. Are you originally from London?
I'm actually born in Vienna, but I used to live in London for 12 years, so I'm half British, basically.
Dude, like that's like I hear it in your accent. It's like a blend of the two.
Yeah,
Crazy,
like some people call me Borat, like the character.
Please just say my wife, and then we're.
How long have you been doing music for, Martin?
About 20 years actually now.
Wow. I know you're established and all, but I didn't know it was that long. Wow, very cool.
Yeah, I started off as a club act actually. It was rather for club music and nothing too fancy, nothing too pop or anything, and it just moved into a different direction all over the years now.
Oh wow! How did it originally start? What kind of music was it when you started? Because like you said, it's dance electronica now.
Yeah, it was very much like tribal house, New York tribal house. I started working with a guy called Peter Rauhofer, who used to do like stuff for Depeche Mode or
Nice.
Madonna and stuff like that. And it was very dance orientated, very kind of like electronic body music, very 80s influence, but very hard, very dancey. It was a mix between house music and electronic music from the 80s.
Yeah, because when I first came across you, I was going to ask you what your biggest influences were, but I kind of get like the almost Boy George type singing.
Not really. No, actually,
No?
I'm coming from gothic and punk, like Susie and the Banshees, Sisters of Mercy,
Susie and the Banshees is good. What about the Cure? What's your opinion?
I grew up with the Cure, but I was more of a Susie and the Banshees or Soft Cell or Human League and that stuff, or like Kraftwerk when they turned out. The Cure was too. It was well produced, but it was not my cup of tea really.
Cool.
That's fine.
What I was gonna ask you too. In your videos, you are very fashionable. Are you also a model?
Yeah.
Like you wear some awesome stuff.
By accident actually. When I did my first show in London in the early 90s, there was this movement called Club Kids. And an agent actually chatted me up on a party where my outfit is from. And I said, well, I created it myself. And they booked me for an exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, which was called Street Style. And from there, an agent signed me as a model and actor. And I had no experience. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, why? So it just and also the 90s were all about characters, and I was a character, so it was all like fitting the decade and everything. I was just like getting along whatever my agent told me I was doing. Eventually I had to actually get lessons for my acting and stuff like that, because I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah.
That's amazing. Have you landed a lot of acting gigs since then?
I am in one movie with Craig Daniel, actually.
Craig Daniel? Really?
Yeah, it's called, I can't remember what it was called. I did so many little TV stuff. I did, in Austria, I did a children's TV series, something similar like Doctor Who. It was on that line. And for some reason, in the UK, all and every band in the 90s asked me to appear in the videos. So I've been in videos for Smashing Pumpkins, for Madonna,
shit.
I don't know, everyone. It's just like my agent was always like asking me, they're asking you to appear in this and that video.
Wow.
It became actually silly because I was like in every video, and just happened.
That's crazy. Yeah. What I was gonna ask you too. Out of all your songs, what is your favorite? Because I listen to a bunch, like I said, and what's the newest one? When do I get to sing?
Well, there are two songs actually which are my favorite ones. It's Dangerous Cat, which I wrote in the mid-90s, and I recorded it in London in the studios of Republica, which was an electronic band, which was an amazing band at the time. And the second song I recorded with a producer from the Depeche Mode corner, which is Follow Me. And Follow Me actually is, from the vocals, my favorite track.
Why is that?
Because this track is really weird. I didn't do any of the instrumentation. It was like a big production, basically. So I came into the studios with my lyrics and everything, and I was singing my song, and then I left. 2 days later, the producer was calling me saying like, well, can you do the vocals again? They're not good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? So I changed the lyrics to Follow Me, and I kicked the shit out of cunts in the lyrics.
I did. I love that song. Yes, I heard that song.
Yeah, well, that happened actually because the producer was going on my nerves. And so I did that actually in the second take, in the second session. And then they were sending me a version, and I was like, well, what is this? It's like Popcack or something. And I returned it again, and then they produced something more interesting. But yeah, I like the vocals as it's more emotional, and the lyrics are more like fierce and basically, yeah.
I love that song.
You to
I love
do
that
your
line.
thing and
yes, so good. And I was gonna ask you too, Martin. I know you just mentioned it, but I was gonna ask if you did any of the instrumentation in your songs.
Most of the songs I did and do. I'm also working on new material at the moment, which is going back to the roots. And some songs, like Follow Me, I didn't do any of the instrumentation. I have about 3 songs I didn't do the instrumentation, and the rest is all done by me. Lately, I'm actually producing everything. I have my home studio. I'm doing my own keyboards. I have a drummer. I do drum sessions. I put in drums, and it's all done and recorded by me these days. In the 90s, we spent loads of money in London recording at big studios, which was useless. I mean, it doesn't change the sound or anything. If you're an artist, I think it's important that you know what you're doing and how it comes out and whatever. It doesn't matter when who's working on it on the track. So the most important thing is that at the end of the day, you have to mix the track as well. You have to sit down and you have to do the end production of it.
Awesome. And I was going to ask too, I'm sure you perform all over Europe, but do you ever come to the States?
I've never performed in the States. I have many friends in New York, and they're doing club nights. Like, I don't know, you must know Amanda Lepore, or there's one club promoter. She's called Lady Fag, or there is another one, Susan Barge, and they're doing all these extremely colorful club nights in New York. There's one called, I think, The Rooftop, and I might perform actually for Susan Barge in the future.
Cool. Awesome.
So that's going to be New York. Apart from that, I've never performed New York. I was asked for Los Angeles. That hasn't materialized yet.
Wow. And I was going to ask too, you said you've been doing it for about 20 years. What has changed the most in the music industry since you started?
Well, the way you record a song and how you put it out has completely changed.
Definitely.
In the earlier days, a track was recorded, and it took sometimes up to a year until it saw any day of light or anything, light of day in that case.
Yes.
For one track, that is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And now it's like you have to produce something and you have to put it out immediately. The other thing that changed is in the early days, people used to buy an album, and nowadays you do a single, a song, an EP, and that's it. And another thing that has recently changed the past 2 years, people don't like long tracks anymore. They want really short tracks.
Really?
I don't know why.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my record
Attention
label actually
span is
just
just-
told
It is
me
an
last
attention span
week.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think the problem is because people are on the phone or somewhere at work and they just listen to something like in the break or whatever, and they don't want to be spending too long on one piece of music. And normally they skip things these days. So the shorter the tracks, if you look through the charts now, all the tracks are about 3 minutes now.
Okay. Wow.
It's very interesting.
That's so weird because I still like longer
I
tracks.
was gonna
like,
say
I
there
like
are
some of
still
that-
some like
Yeah.
like long song like I was just thinking of Green Day when was it October Ends?
Oh, that's
Is that the
true.
song? Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's a long song. Or
I was a fan of
Or,
Tool.
um,
Tool, all of their songs are fucking
what's
long.
the Guns N' Roses song?
that's it.
November.
Oh, Sweet
November
November
Rain.
November Rain.
November
yeah.
Rain.
Rain.
Yeah,
Yes,
November
that's
Rain.
like a
Yeah.
long song.
Yeah.
Like I do love that.
Another English dude, Frank Turner. Do you know who he is?
No, we've never heard of him.
He's got the same thing though on his albums though. He's got really long tracks, like 8 minutes long or whatever, and then every now and then there'll be like one that's like 2 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, is that an end? Did I skip it? I don't understand.
What I've noticed is like everyone does a edit now for YouTube, or you edit it down to 3 minutes then for the radios and or for the radio sessions or whatever. But I think it's losing all the music because if you edit tracks down, you know,
Yes.
there's a story or something.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that. The story of the song.
Yeah, you can't tell a song in 3 minutes. Or as good as in 5 minutes, you know. That's the whole thing.
A good example here that's interesting is somebody was wearing a Pink Floyd shirt, and they're known for doing like.
I love Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah. Floyd.
And he's talking about how back in the day you were able to have longer
Oh, yeah,
tracks,
man,
where
the
like
same shit.
now your
Dude.
track has to be like
That was
very short.
That was the cool thing about prog rock, like 70s prog rock. Man. You
Yeah.
could just go like crazy with that. It's
Right.
in the rock and roll business. That's not what it's like any.
Well,
like
it's
a
the
lot
same
of
with the
time.
Cult.
game has
The
changed
Cult
so
used to have
much.
Yeah,
really
man.
long songs. I mean, all of the first albums had really long songs. And or Sisters of Mercy had the same thing, or Susan and the Banjos had the same thing. They had really long tracks, and that's all gone now. I mean, if you think of even electronic music like Kraftwerk or Giorgio Moroder, they actually invented long songs because, for instance, Giorgio Moroder, when he works with Donna Summer, they needed to create a long track because the tracks were too short for all the nightclubs. And they had to create much longer versions. And I think the first 15-minute track was actually Giorgio Moroder's I Feel Love.
Wow. That's amazing. Martin,
So-
I'm so sorry. I can't believe we have to wrap this up, dude, but thank you so much for talking to us.
You're welcome.
It's
Thank
been
you for having
great.
me.
Anytime,
And
man.
good luck with your show as well. I'm impressed, actually.
Thank you.
Just listening to it.
Bro,
Martin, where can everybody find you?
Well, I have my own website. It's martinmeister.com, or another one is martin101.com. And I think on YouTube it's the same, youtube.com/martinmeister. It's everywhere the same. It's Martin Meister. I own the internet with Martin Meister, basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you as well. Bye. Take care.
You too.
Have a good one,
yo,
Martin.
yo.